Hi there, this is Sucheta Raul, and I am a travel blogger and founder of nonprofit Go Eat Give and author of Vieto Goes to Children's Books. So I'm going to be talking to you about travel blogging. So welcome to Travel Talk with Sucheta, episode 1. I'm so excited that you're joining me today. If you're looking to be a travel blogger and don't know where to start, or if this is the right thing for you, or maybe you've already started travel blogging and want to get an insider perspective from someone who is doing this for a long time, you've come to the right place then. Hold on your questions. You have the chat button on the right side of your screen. So if you have any questions, you can insert them as we are speaking, and I will try to address them as we go along. So let's just get started. This episode is about travel blogging. We will have other episodes addressing other questions, such as how to get paid to travel, how to travel for free, and how to establish a business from traveling, how to be a sustainable traveler. So if you have any suggestions for topics, I'd encourage you to list those as well in the chat button that you see on the right. So welcome again, and let's get started. The first thing I want you to know is this is not a tutorial. I'm not going to go through YouTube's 10 steps to start a travel blog. I'm going to tell you from my perspective what are some things you can do, and this is a conversation I'd like to have with you as well. So when I started my travel blog back in 2010, and it was meant to be nothing, just a data dump of everywhere I had been, places I had been traveling to for fun, and restaurants that I like to eat at. I used to work at an investment bank during that time, and I was known as the help desk for travel and food at work by my colleagues. And the reason being, every big bonus I got at my investment bank, I would take a big vacation, go to Egypt, Peru, a cruise, and at least 4 to 5 times a year, I would be taking these exotic trips. And then on the weekends, I always go check out the latest restaurants and try out what's new and happening here in Atlanta, where I live. And so anybody who was traveling at work came to me and said, "Hey, would you give me some advice? I'm going with my family to Costa Rica for a week. Can you hook me up with a travel agent, or can you share your itinerary with me?" And my friend suggested, "Well, people are calling you all the time. They are disturbing you at work. Why don't you just start a travel blog? And you can share all of your information there, and people can refer to it when they're traveling or looking for dining recommendations." So that was it. That was my motivation to start a travel blog, was just to share information about where I was going. Now, a couple of years later, when the blog was being really followed across the world, people were writing to me and saying, "Hey, can you plan a trip for me? Can I come with you on another trip?" And I was doing a lot of volunteer style travel as well. So they wanted to send donations to some of the charities that I was working with. So that's when I got the idea to start the travel blog into something a little bit more, which came about as Go Eat Give, the nonprofit organization. So, first thing I want you to think about is, what is your motivation for starting a travel blog? Is it something that you're doing just to get your thoughts out there and share with your family and friends? Or is it something that you want to establish a business? Uh, Maybe you just want to quit your job and travel around the world, which is what I'm doing now. Yes, I said no to my corporate job a long time ago, and I have been traveling to about 80 countries and counting since then. And this is what I do full time. Maybe you're passionate about a certain aspect about travel. So that's the second thing I want you to think about, is not just your motivation for starting a travel blog, but what your travel blog is actually going to be about. For me, I like to blog about culture and sustainable travel, which includes food, meeting people, staying in accommodations that support the local community, interacting with the locals, and volunteering in the community. But I know people who like to write about just luxury hotels, about adventure, about food. And you just need to think about what is it that you are really passionate about in the realm of travel. And maybe it's just something hyper local. You're just want to explore your own country or your own city. I know people who are also blogging just about food and travel within their own state. And that's perfectly fine too, as long as you define that upfront and that's what you want to do. The next thing you want to talk about is what is your skill set? Now, I have been writing since I was in college. I was writing for the school newspaper in my college, and then I started contributing to a local magazine doing restaurant reviews. But writing for me was something I did as a hobby. I never thought it was something I would do professionally. I never took a journalism course, and I never pictured myself as a full time writer. But you may be interested in photography or doing videos. Maybe you're more comfortable in front of the camera. So again, you need to look at what is your skill set. I feel most comfortable writing. I'm just starting to do video. This is one of my first, so I will keep exploring how I am on video. But I've written over 1,000 pieces of blogs, so that's what I'd like to do. Next, you want to talk about what is the audience? Who's your audience? Is it something that you're writing for your family and friends? Initially, I was writing for just my colleagues and my friends, but as the blog grew, now I'm writing for a very global audience. So a lot of my followers are from United States, Canada, UK, and India. And these are people who are professionals, they're in their 30s and 40s, and they don't have a lot of time to travel or a lot of money to travel. A lot of them have families, they have mortgages, and they have full time jobs. So I try to write about things that they can do in a short time with a limited budget and still have a very meaningful experience. So you need to think about if you're writing for college students, for women, for adults, for seniors, and who's your target audience? Where are they based? What is their income? A lot of bloggers tend to monitor where they are getting their demography from after they start the blog in Google Analytics. But I also recommend that you think about that before you start the blog. Of course, you'll use Google Analytics to continuously monitor if you're targeting the right audience. And maybe that audience changes over time. But if you define that upfront, you have a business plan essentially. Next, you need to find your voice. All journalists have a voice, and bloggers especially need to have a specific voice. Now, a good way to start is reading other blogs. If you've read my blog, which is goeatgive.com, you'll see that my voice is very informal, it's very conversational. It's as if I was talking to you and telling you about my experience, but I also list out places you must see and things you must do with links. But you may have a different voice where you are talking from a more formal standpoint, or you like to list items. And everybody has to go inside and see what their writing voice is, and then just be authentic. Don't try to follow someone else, because then you will have pitfalls. What I recommend is just see what you feel like conveying to your audience and then say it in a way that feels most comfortable to you. Then you need to think about, are people going to care about what you have to say? Sure, I like to write about food. I am going and trying restaurants, and I'm traveling around the world looking for the most local cuisines. But now, are people really interested in knowing about it? So that's something you need to think about after you've listed your first few items for why you're starting your travel blog, who's reading it, what is your skill set, and what is motivating you to do it, who's interested, and why are they interested to learn from you? Who are you? In my case, I am not just a foodie. I hate to use that word, foodie. I've been cooking since I was 18 years old, cooking a lot of international foods. I started teaching cooking lessons when I was 23, and I've been writing restaurant reviews all through my 20s. So I see myself as an authority of international cuisine. And that's why I feel people would be more interested in learning from what I have to say when I'm traveling to other countries and writing about the local food. So maybe there's a special quality about you that you need to tell your readers about and why they should follow you and your blog. So if you were to get started, how often would you blog? A big question I get is can I blog whenever I feel like it? And the answer is initially no. Just like you receive your newspaper every day at a certain time, you receive your monthly subscription to a magazine every month at a certain day, your readers also expect you to blog such and such frequency. So you need to establish that. Either you're blogging once a week or 3 times a week. You have to set that up and be regular about it. Now, initially, when you're starting a blog, the more frequently you post, the better your audience is going to grow. So I would recommend 3 times a week if you can. If you just know you don't have the time to commit, then do it once a week, but do it on the same day every week. And once you have established your blog, you can always schedule it. So you don't even have to sit on the computer the night before the day that you said you would post the blog. You can just schedule it out. Next, you have to think about how you're going to monetize your blog. Some people like to put ads and affiliate links. I don't put any on my blog site. I feel that I have a duty towards my readers to just have a very clean page where there is no interruption and there is no distraction about what they're reading. I always give links to businesses that I have mentioned, but I don't necessarily have established affiliates with them. Now, that's not to say that a lot of other bloggers do that. And if you click on each link, then you get a commission for the travel that you book through that. That's something you need to decide on your own. But it's still very initial for you to think about that. Generally, once you have a certain number of followers, like 100,000 followers, then it makes sense to put ads or affiliate links on your blog. So, any questions at this standpoint, please feel free to post a comment on the right side of your screen where you see a top chat, and I can answer those messages as we go along. Yeah, your live chat is open. So to get started, how do you get started? Next steps. Biggest thing I say is just start. Don't think about it. If you have been thinking about starting a blog, whether it's for travel or food or architecture or housing or anything it is, just start. Just start writing. Feel like nobody's going to read it, doesn't matter. I'm just going to put my thoughts out there and start writing. To get started, just go on GoDaddy, open a domain name, come up with a creative name for your blog. Then you can use WordPress, Blogger, Tumblr, or Wix. There are lots of options out there. Some are free, some are paid. And WordPress is the easiest one to use. That's what I use. It's just like Word. And you can just start typing the way you do in a Word document. So you can start your blog right there. When you establish your website, just make sure that you have a few pages in there. It's just not a landing page with different articles for a blog. I like to give and establish a name and a mission. What is this blog about? Why should you come back here? And who are you? What is your authority on telling people about the blog? I love to see who is writing the blog. So make sure to have an About Me page where you are candid, you talk about your background, what are the things that you're passionate about, and give some pictures from your travels so people are really interested in knowing who you are personally. And then just start writing. Once you post your blog, share it on social media. Um, Make sure everyone you know at work, in your family, your friends, have a link. Every time you post a blog, make sure that you share that link with everyone. Maybe they won't read it the first time. Maybe they'll read your fifth post. Maybe they'll comment on it or they'll share it. But you need to get the word out as much as possible, especially when you're starting out. Another way to get the growth on your blog viewership is by commenting on other blogs. So if you visit goeatgive.com, which is my blog, and you read something on there, my latest blog was on Sri Lanka, and you liked something about that blog post, or maybe you have been to Sri Lanka and have something to add in addition to what I wrote, make a comment and link back to your own blog. That's a great way to get link backs and to get your Google rankings up. So it increases your visibility, it increases your interaction with other bloggers, and even my readers who are reading my blog posts now see your link and your blog, and they might connect to that. So it's a great tip if you're just starting out. And then you can contribute to other blogs. So maybe you feel like your blog is not quite ready, but you have stories to share. You have been on certain trips that you would love for people to know about, or you have some experiences that are great and it's worth sharing. You can contact me and you can contribute to Go Eat Give. There are lots of other bloggers who take guest posts. Now, you don't get paid for it, but you get your bio, your name up there, and a link back to your blog or your social media site. So if you're interested in that opportunity of contributing a blog to Go Eat Give, to my site, then you can send me a message. And we have a whole section that says guest blog. So you can also scroll through that to see what we have posted in the past. Any comments or questions from you guys? I know a few of you are still out there. Okay, if you don't have any comments, then I would encourage you to come back next week. We will be talking about saving money and not experiences, how you can keep traveling around the world for very little money, as I have done to about 80 countries for almost free. So it's a great way to understand how the travel blogging industry works and how you can get paid and get free travel. So this will be again tomorrow, same time on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern at the same location. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at sucheta@goeatgive.com. And I'll post the links down here as well. Thank you for watching. See you next time.